What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us on Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, as well as Instagram with your host Komp. And
The Strawberry Girl.
today's film is
Christine, 1983.
Christine, 1983, directed by John Carpenter, based on the novel by Stephen King, written by Bill Phillips, the screenplay, starring Keith Gordon, John Stockwell, and Alexandra Paul. So, Danny, why'd you pick this film?
Because it is a John Carpenter film, a Stephen King book, and a good movie.
I completely skipped the synopsis that I usually do. A nerdish boy buys a strange car with an evil mind of its own, and his nature starts to change to reflect it. So, you said because John Carpenter directed it?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's funny? Because I can give.
He has a pretty good record, you know.
Yeah, Ghost of Mars, fantastic movie. I don't give a shit about cars. I had no interest in ever seeing this movie. I saw the ending. Of the movie.
I know what you're saying.
I'm an artist. That means I'm a total jerk off. Like I don't.
You don't
care
like
about
sports
cars.
or cars. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
And I was like, what do I care? Even though John Carpenter, obviously in his heyday, of course, back then made some great films. Mm-hmm. And this was, a lot of people said this is great, and it's always like playing on some sort of channel. And I had seen the ending of it, and I was like, I just was not interested because it's, focused on a car.
Yeah.
Which is very bad of me because, I ended up watching it finally, and I was like, wow,
and you loved it.
I thought it was great, yeah. And do you have even though you're not into cars yourself, do you have a specific type of car that you like?
Honestly,
aesthetically?
Aesthetically, I like this type of car, actually.
This is what, an 58...
Honestly, I don't even fucking know. I know nothing about cars.
It's on the IMDb and the trivia. It's a 58 Plymouth, I believe. I think that's what they say. Yeah, because I was like...
I didn't even know that a sedan is a type of car. I thought it was like a brand.
Kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Oh, okay.
I am really stupid with cars. Yet my brother is like a mechanic, so
right.
I don't know.
Does he ever talk to you and then you talk about it and then that you don't know and he goes, "Oh, fuck off!" He just doesn't bother.
No, he doesn't care that I know nothing about it.
It's called a Plymouth Fury. Anyway.
Okay.
My favorite type of car.
Oh, that's a great name, Fury. I like that.
My favorite type of car is a Dodge Charger. Ironically, while watching the movie, a Dodge Charger is destroyed. It's the
is that Buddy's car or whatever?
Bully's car. No. And then after the movie, I showed you this music video by John Carpenter because he's mostly a musician nowadays.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He has a fantastic quote that he says. He's like, in Europe they think I'm a genius, in the U.S. they think I'm shit.
Right.
Which is sort of the case because you're reflective on your work, I guess, because his last couple of films haven't been doing well at all, and apparently he's working on He's producing.
Now I'm curious, what are his last couple of films? I'm like a little. I'm bad with remembering.
There was one about a woman in an insane asylum. I think it was called The Ward. I'm not sure. I think that's the name of it. I think that was the last one that came out. He obviously did Ghost of Mars, which was oh brother.
You know he wrote an episode of Stranger Things. I did not know that.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, he wrote the Lost Sister one, the one with the.
Is that the one where they meet the people from the 80s?
Yeah,
that was a bad episode.
I like that one. I
didn't like it. It was so.
No! I'm sorry. He did a soundtrack for it.
Okay, so that's fine then. Soundtrack's great. Because
why did he make the Christine music video in 2017?
Because he's been sort of. I don't even think that song appears in this movie. I'm not sure because I
don't think it does either.
I was surprised by how it wasn't full of a score. Do you know? Because John Carpenter, basically, when you see his films, like if we've seen The Thing or if you've seen Halloween, it's chock. Like every other scene is his music, and here it's very sparse. Even though
he hasn't directed many movies in the past 20 years, pretty much.
Right, I'm just saying the movies that we have seen. You know what I mean? The ones that we have seen before this one, and the opening is just the car revving. It's its engine revving. It's not even music, and then it pops into some third-party music. It's not even his, but it's his score. The movie does have a very unique theme, a Christine theme, but the soundtrack, what I saw, or with the video that I showed you with that fantastic looking model, I don't know what her name is. What was her name? Rita something?
Rita Volk or something?
There you go, Rita Volk or some shit like that. Very nice pants on her. I mean the way the pants
everything about her was respectable. I respect her.
But he releases albums now. He does music with his kids. A guy that we know actually a guy who has a hilarious quote that you and I quote to each other all the time. I actually sees him in concert a lot, and what he does is he takes his music out live, and they play scenes from his movies in the background, like on a big
What
screen.
is the quote?
Of what?
The guy that says the quote that we know.
I'm not going to say that quote.
Okay.
I can't say that quote. You should automatically know what we're saying.
Okay.
But so yeah, it's like fantastic.
I know the.
Yes. Okay. Very good. So we did this. I mean, he does these live musical shows. He did something called unreleased scores and stuff like that. He does a lot of like synth music, obviously. And that new song, I assumed it's a new song, but it's like based on Christine. So
it'd be awesome if him and David Lynch toured together and did music.
Those are two radically different types of music, but
David Lynch does weird synth music.
Oh no, I heard. Yeah, but Carpenter's synth is different mood than Lynch's.
Yeah, but that would be so awesome.
No, I'm not saying it would be bad. I'm just saying it's like two completely opposite. But that's not new for bands to do that. Anyway, so that new Christine video is so funny because like you see John Carpenter shows up in the video. He's always from the first time I've seen him, he's always looked like that. He's always looked like an 80-year-old man, which is funny.
Yeah.
And then he's like in the beginning of the video, he looks like Kung Lao.
Like death. He looks like death.
Well, he looks like Kung Lao to me because he has a big hat on and he's like raising his arms in the darkness like he's scary or something. And then the part where he's like, he looks scarier than the idea of the car actually running her over. That's the funny part because he looks like a dirty old man and he like extends his hand and I guess maybe she gives him a blowjob in the car. Who knows?
Do you think?
Anyway, so
lucky him.
So that's what he does nowadays, and I think he's producing the new Halloween film. If you want like a great laugh, but it's a great song, is that he did a music video. He had a band called the Coupe de Villes, and they did the theme song for Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that song. It was like do 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 do, and it's like you got to see the video. It's so cheesy, but it's like amazing. And he's singing in it, and he's always looked like 60 years old. So he's singing it, and there's like the guy who actually played, I believe the guy who played Michael Myers is in the music video because he was one of the musicians as well. And he's actually returning for the new Halloween.
That's great.
Reboot quill or whatever it is as Michael Myers. So he's probably like bad knees trying to chase whatever his name is.
He's like 80.
So back to this film. This film obviously adapted from the Stephen King novel. I
heard it was pretty accurate. I haven't read the book. I don't.
From the little things, I read the trivia after, and there's some stuff that they omitted, like a really big thing that they omitted.
What?
Why don't you give up the general premise of the film?
It doesn't really. I mean, I guess in the book it might explain, but it doesn't really explain why the car is evil. But there's an evil spirit in this car, Christine, and she like drinks your life force and kills people. I thought it was like related to Pennywise because the deadlights show up in the car for some reason. When the girl's choking on the sandwich, but that's not the case. From what I read from the wiki, officially not the case?
From what I've read from the trivia, from the IMDb and the wiki, although you could be led astray or I could be led astray, apparently the old man that has the brace around his body, the ones in the film that he sells the car to Arnold because
he is also the old man that's shoveling in Home Alone.
Yeah, okay, that's where I knew I saw him from.
I was like, I know this fucking guy. I know him.
Yeah, that's great. He's very good in this movie. Actually, every actor is very good in this film. So we'll get to those characters. But and the main guy, he looks just like fucking Armie Hammer. I don't know if you know who Armie Hammer is.
Hammer.
He's this actor that is now like, he's like a decent actor that like should be like they're trying to make him into a leading man, but for some reason he cannot find a movie to like. But they keep pushing him. You know how like Shia LaBeouf still like, well, he used to get jobs, but
these are names actors, I hear. I don't really know.
If you've ever,
I can't believe this guy's name is really Armie Hammer.
It is, but it's like,
what a bizarre name.
I know, and he's in actually a couple of decent films, and he was originally going to be slated to play, I think, Batman. I'm not sure. There was going to be a Justice League directed by the guy who did Mad Max.
Well, he's in a million things. I'm looking at him.
Yeah, and from everything that I've seen, the best thing that I saw him in was obviously The Social Network. And he looks exactly the spitting image of the guy in this film. The
good guy or the bad guy? Arnie or Dennis?
Armie. I'm sorry, Armie Hammer, the actor.
No, I'm saying, does he look like the main character?
No, he looks like the main. No, he doesn't look like the main character, Arnie. He looks like the best friend.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, go see The Social Network, please. Everybody see that movie. If you don't care about Facebook, doesn't matter. It's
the soundtrack is fucking awesome.
It's a David Fincher film, so go see that movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Trent Reznor.
So, well, let me break out my horrible joke. So, did you know that R. Kelly is doing a reimagination of this film? He wants to film it. Like, he wants to buy the rights for it.
Is it called Pistine?
God damn it! That was my fucking joke. I thought about that a week ahead, you scumbag. God damn it. All right, you do the rest of the episode. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
But that really was my joke.
Pistine.
It was so funny because I thought I was such a genius. I was like, Pistine. And then I realized it had the word teen in it. And I was like, hey, so this works on many levels. See, because R. Kelly pissed on teenagers on video. Yeah. Well, his time is up apparently too. So,
me too.
There are two main characters. What's the name of the one guy? Is it Dennis?
Arnie is the kid who gets
the nerd kid.
Possessed.
I don't really see Arnie as the main character. I see the blonde guy as the
Dennis.
So there's Dennis and there's Arnie
and Leigh, the girlfriend.
Lee.
Lee
played by Alexandra Paul. If you're not familiar with her, if you've ever seen Baywatch, it was so weird because I was like, oh, Alexandra Paul, because I knew her name because she used to be on Baywatch. Essentially, she was the brainy one on Baywatch. Because I
never really watched the show.
Well, I never watched it either. I would just like change channels and see like enormous breasts jumping on the beach. But she was like, because that show had like Pamela Anderson and other girls with like gigantic malonkers on them. Mm-hmm. And Alexandra Paul, you could tell, was the smart one because she had short hair and she had like an athletic body. She had like small breasts and like her body was like petite.
And they never showed her.
So I guess maybe that was the producer's idea for like all the lunkheads watching the show, that you have to listen to what she says as opposed to just looking at her. Do you know what I mean? Like you could totally tell that was
hot.
Like, huh?
She's super hot.
She is hot. But in the show, you're like, she's like overshadowed by all these other women because
all their boobs. Yeah.
When people are like 14 years old watching that show, they're like, oh, there's no tits. I can't see this lady.
Pamela Anderson's boobs are.
But hey, to each their own. I love flat-chested girls as well. But who cares what I feel?
I like everything.
She's in this film. She's fucking gorgeous. I mean, like, wow.
Guys, I do not condone this type of talk of women as
disgusting. Objects. It's depraved. I don't forgive it. Time's up.
I don't like it. I don't condone it.
She has like this long hair. She looks completely different than she does on Baywatch because I'm so used to seeing her with short hair, but she looks really pretty with long hair. And cool. She has a twin sister too, and that's a joke they would play on John Carpenter. She would have her sister show up in her role.
Oh, nice.
And then like she would show up, and then John Carpenter would yell out, "Hey, this is Invasion of the Body Snatchers," and I guess they all had a laugh or something. So. That was fascinating what I just said.
Yes, everything you said was great.
So Arnie is this nerdy kid. He is ruthlessly bullied by these knuckleheads that look like the fucking Night Stalker for some reason. This is taking place in 1978. The movie begins with Christine actually being created. This is the difference in the novel because that scene that happens in the beginning of the film does not happen in the novel itself.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah, Christine is not, according to the IMDb trivia, she is not created in some sort of, she doesn't kill somebody at the factory. Because it's so funny because all the other cars aren't painted, but she partially is. And it slams the hood on a guy's hands in a very comical way because you're hearing this music and it just jarringly stops. Then, of course, they found a way to kill a black guy first in this movie. Yeah. I think there's a total of 3 black people in this movie. One of them is the first guy, and then 2 people of the movie that they're watching in the fucking
look when it was made,
outdoor theater. And it was funny because I realized watching it, I was like, wow, there's not enough like black dudes chomping cigars in movies anymore. Like when you see that, like you like stood in
Predator.
line.
You could watch Predator and watch Carl
Predator,
Weathers,
but also Aliens. Remember the fucking the Sarge in that one, the black dude with the cigar in his mouth.
Right.
Oh god, that character is so great in that movie.
Also, this the detective in this is both in Twin Peaks and Alien.
Harry Dean Stanton, and apparently, I guess Stephen King must have liked him because he he created 2 characters, one of them named Harry and another one named Dean Stanton in I think the Green Mile, which he actually starred in. Harry Dean Stanton actually showed up in that one. I didn't see that film, but I saw one.
Yeah, I never seen it. I heard it's really good, actually.
Yeah, I saw one scene where Tom Hanks is struggling to take a piss, and then there's like an epic shot from behind of him going, oh, and then you see like a stream of piss shooting out.
That's
because I guess the guy healed him, and I was just laughing.
That's why they hired him for that scene in A League of Their Own.
Imagine that's the reason why Tom Hanks like signed on. He's like, Mr. Hanks,
you got to write in a piss scene.
There's a scene with you pissing, and he goes, yeah. He says like he signs the like on the dotted line, and then you see R. Kelly waiting with the script in his hand. Going, yes.
He's got one of those pianos like in big on the ground, and he like uses the letters of the notes he's hitting to spell out that he'll take the role.
It was so funny. I'm so pathetic with R. Kelly because that's all I think of him now is like Mr. Pissman. That he sings a song called Gotham City. And if you just listen to it the right way, he says City of Peace, but the way he sings sounds like City of Piss.
Actually, you know what I think of him, which is just so funny, is do you ever see the Weird Al Yankovic version of his Trapped in the Closet song or whatever?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't seen the video.
You gotta just listen to the Weird Al Yankovic version and then listen to the R. Kelly version. It's so accurate. Like, it's just this rambling, endless, the same exact beat for like...
I remember that. The R. Kelly video was
it's like 20 minutes of the same...
Yeah, it was like 15 short videos that came up to 20 minutes. And
they're all the same exact... music and the same,
but
like,
apparently,
it's
like
so
R.
weird.
R. Kelly is up to some fucking shenanigans that is being reported on. That he keeps like sex slaves and stuff, and he just fucks like teenage girls. Like he married that that singer Aaliyah, that really hot singer Aaliyah that
the
passed
one that
away.
died in the plane crash.
Yeah, he married her when she was 14.
Queen of the Damned. Wow, really? Yeah. How's it legal?
Maybe she had consent from her parents because I guess that's the only way in New York.
Consent to pedophilia. Yeah,
you know what? When the guy trying to marry your daughter is a millionaire and you're probably a scumbag, maybe that's why they consented. You know what I mean?
No, but I would still think it would be illegal. Well, whatever.
You're a different person. So, no offense to Aaliyah's parents. I'm sure they're nice people.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to this film. The car kills this dude. I was trying to figure out how did he kill him. Like maybe the radio played it played something from the future, and you hear Trump getting elected, and he calls the Nazis like good people on both sides, and then the black guy just died. He was like, maybe. Holy shit! What was that voice I just did? Anyway, so he kills that guy. It jumps into the jumps forward 20 odd years, about 1978, and. We see Arnie's picked on by these assholes. His best friend Dennis.
He's a really good nerd too.
Really good. Yeah, that guy gives a great fucking turn as a nerd and then to a psychopath. So here's the thing: in the novel, the guy with the brace that sold him the car, and he says that it was originally his brother's car.
Yeah.
In the novel, apparently he's the guy that owned the car and sold the car to Arnie. And he dies later on, and it's his spirit that's possessing Christine.
Really?
So, yeah, because apparently in the book, Arnie actually does drive the car in one section to kill the bullies, or to kill the main bully, and he gets so fucked up, he ends up in a back brace just like that guy does in the movie.
Oh,
but
wow.
they switched it around a bit, obviously, for the film and omitted stuff, because now later on...
That's a pretty big... change.
Yeah, I think actually it's much better to instead of having some ghost of an old man haunting a car.
Yeah, I kind of like the movie idea better, but maybe when you read the book, it's a different thing.
Yeah, the idea of it like on the outset is just like it's a bit goofy. It's like a killer car. It's almost like when you hear Chucky killing people. Yeah, like a killer doll.
Well, he also did that one with the meat grinder, which is the same exact plot basically.
What's that?
The one with the meat grinder that had Freddy Krueger in it.
Oh God, that was bad. Yeah.
What was that called?
The Mangler.
Yeah, that's like the same exact plot as this, but this is just way better.
We should see the sequel, The Mangler, too. Holy Lord! It has the guy from Millennium in it. Lance Hendrickson. He was the android in Aliens.
Oh, okay.
And he's like. I guess in that... Okay, remember what the Mangler 1 was about? Was basically a steam press machine or something like that.
It was like a killer steam press or something
right.
weird.
In the sequel, it's an infected computer code that controls a whole school.
Oh, come on.
You've got to see the... You guys see the...
That's the plot to Resident Evil.
The preview for it... Well, yeah, at least the Resident Evil makes... yeah, I guess they're all the same fucking shit, but the preview is so incredibly 90s. It's so 90s, you can't believe it. Because they have like the song is like a 90s grunge song, which I actually liked a lot. And it's just the way that it looks and the special effects are so nice. Like that makes me just want to see it, just how bad it must be.
I saw something recently and it was so 90s. The person was wearing a a windbreaker, a white windbreaker, and it had like basically the design from the Greyhound buses was like on the. It was hideous, like that gross, like.
This was a movie. It was a recent movie?
It was like a TV show or something. I forget. I can't even remember what it was from, but it was like the most 90s looking outfits on every person.
Wow,
like,
I love
really
that
silly.
clothing. Except for the Jinkos. I used to want to wear Jinkos.
I used to wear
realize
those.
how ridiculous. Did you use them?
Yeah, I used
Weren't
to.
Weren't they like $500?
Nah.
Did you go to like Yellow Rat Bastard to buy that? I swear this is
No. I went to this place called Urban Suburban or something.
I would
it was
go
like
to
a
Yellow
place
Rat
in a mall.
Bastard and feel so bad because I couldn't afford them, and also I was way too fat for the clothing. So
they weren't that bad. They
double.
were like $40 or something.
If I was to wear the Jinko clothes, it would actually fit normal on me when I was in high school.
I mean, they were ridiculous, and I had a friend who had like extra big ones that were like parachutes, and he never changed his clothes. Like he was like really dirty, and like they were wet on the bottom every time. There were puddles, and like it was just disgusting.
I remember there being a shirt called Polka Hot Ass, and it was like Pocahontas, and they just photoshopped like her bare ass on it. I was like, "This is
that the same guy that did the masturbate of Pee Wee Herman and had spelled masturbate wrong?" I had that shirt. That was a guy who like released his whole things. And,
Good Lord, were the late 90s, early 2000s very strange.
Yeah,
anyway, we're only 18 years away from the 2000s. Could you imagine that? So the whole deal with this film is that obviously that huge difference of an old man possessing the car and trying to possess Arnie. Apparently, in the novel's ending, Arnie breaks away from the car and he's with his mother, and they're driving away. And Christine, I think, possesses a different car and kills. Or I guess the old man possesses another car and kills.
So the spirit can hop from car to car?
I guess in the novel. I'm not too sure.
I'm reading glad they didn't do that.
In the wiki it says that. And it also kills Arnie's his father.
I mean, that is really a cool idea, and usually I like movie accuracy, so maybe if I was a big Christine fan, I'd be pissed off.
But what I understand is, like, if the old man sells his car to Arnie, like, why is he so pissed off? And he's able to jump around and kill people. Like, well, what the fuck's the big deal? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
I'm sure that they explained it.
I'm sure Stephen King spent 150 pages just explaining it. Just
probably.
an explanation of it. By the way, Stephen, by the time you're listening to this episode, his new novel just came out called The Outsider, and it's 500 pages, so I'm going to be able to read that this week. Is it not? I know I'm going to have
for him, it's not.
And apparently it's about a shape-shifting child killer, something he's never done before, so I can't wait to read it.
He has done that.
That's the joke, Danny. So Arnie is...
he's done that multiple times.
This is a film where Christine is this very... By the way, in the music video... Does that car look anything like the Christine car? It looks like a thinner version. It doesn't look the same to me. It looks like more stretched out than the Christine in this film.
No, it's Christine. You know what's really cool in this? Is like it has such good effects in this movie.
Very good effects.
When the car is rebuilding itself, it's like
apparently that was done with
awesome.
It was done with hydraulics and plastics. Sorry to ruin your fantasy of it, but it looks really great. Like everything looks good. The music is great.
I didn't expect them to like use metal, but like the point is. Practical effects are sick. Like
very good.
Great.
It was so funny because apparently the film didn't have enough it's not a violent movie. Like people do die, but it's not like graphic violent stuff.
Yeah.
And the movie, like the violence wasn't enough to get an R rating. So apparently, like they were like, "Fuck, we don't want people to think," because PG-13 wasn't around yet, I believe, which I think started with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Right. And they were like, "Oh fuck, we can't. If people think it's PG, they're not gonna see it."
So they threw in some curses.
They threw in curse words, and then people gave them big fucking problems for having so many curse words. And there's a lot of curse words in this movie, but it's used really well. It doesn't feel like it's overdone. Yeah. And I do like Arnie's phrase of people being shitters. And I gotta tell you, there's such great fucking cinematography in this film. It's so funny because the movie didn't make
beautiful. When the car drives into that wedge thing and kills the first kid and it's smushing itself in, that's so good. Like that whole scene is so good.
Yeah, and I guess it must have left some, because that's how they basically inspect or try to investigate car accidents. They see the color of a car scratching off on the wall. I guess that's what they implied with the cop.
Yeah, they sample it and they do forensics, like where
Christine kills that cop too in the book. Apparently everybody gets killed in the book. Like the book ends with
not Dennis, right?
No, Dennis survives because maybe he's telling the story. I'm not sure, but Dennis apparently reads in the news that because I guess one guy survived out of those bullies, and he reads in the newspaper that guy got ran over, and he thinks that Christine has come back. So it's like 4 years after the incident.
So now he's scared of every car he sees.
I guess so. I guess that's the case. But so in this film, just that scene alone where Christine like crashes through that gas station, kills everybody.
I love it.
And the way that the car comes out in flames, I was like, this. I like laughed and I cheered in my own apartment like a loser.
Yeah, it's really good. Stephen King is definitely a car guy.
It was such a beautiful, Maximum Overdrive, fantastic movie. But I actually liked that movie. It was so stupid.
Do you?
This machine just called me an asshole. I haven't done that in a while. But seeing that car, Christine on fire, and then chasing that guy, people make the big mistake of running into open highways in this film. At least the fat guy was like, who looked familiar to me.
He tried to hop over a divider and shit.
Where's that fat guy from? Please look that guy up, because I could have sworn, I think he got killed in Friday the 13th Part 5, with a fake Jason.
Also, you know what? One of the bullies who gets killed in the gas station scene is the guy that's in Ghostbusters that's doing the ESP test, and Bill Murray,
that's right. Yes.
And Bill Murray's just fucking with him.
That's the guy who gets hit first, and then that other guy looks super familiar. The guy with the frizzy hair that doesn't get hit first.
I didn't recognize him, actually. What is the name of the bully? Do you know? Moochie, I think.
Moochie was the first guy. I mean, the fat guy that gets killed, right?
Yeah, the first guy. Is that who you're asking about?
Stephen Tash was the ESP guy. He's playing Rich. Let me see Stuart Charno, but let me see Malcolm Dinar, because I could have sworn I think he's the guy from. I could be wrong. I thought he was from Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm sorry, Friday the 13th Part.
I don't know this guy from anything. He's in National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I guess I was wrong. But
random stuff is like extras, but not like any lead roles.
Okay, so where's that other guy from the last guy that I was saying? Because that guy, definitely, I saw him in a lot of shit in the 80s at least.
I don't know, but keep talking about other stuff and we'll figure it out.
So anyway, the flaming car, just that effect itself was so fucking incredible that I couldn't believe.
And it was probably real. They probably really had a car on fire and were driving it,
Oh, I'm sure of it. And they had to black out the car windows so you wouldn't be sure if Arnie was driving the car or not, which I thought was a pretty neat sort of,
Yeah,
effect.
and I actually didn't expect him to be driving the car.
Me neither, yeah. I mean, you and I know that's a fucking car that's killing people by itself.
And then when he is, it's like, whoa, he looks like a fucking demon. Like, he's all fucked up. Yeah, I guess I've never like you said, it's always on TV. I've definitely seen random parts of it. I don't think I've ever watched this movie all the way through.
What's funny is that blonde chick, the one that wanted the main guy,
she was super hot.
She was she was equally as hot as the brunette. It was like a Betty and Veronica thing going on, I guess. But they just totally was fuck you to her, and
yeah, why?
It's best that she had nothing to do with it, because you know what, she got out of it. If she dated that guy, she probably would have been drug into this fucking problem. But she's super hot. I think that was Kelly Preston. She was super smoking hot in the film. But I mean, everything about this film works. I really wasn't expecting to like this film. So maybe because it went against type of my type of film. Although, what is my type of film? I really don't know.
Well, you just assume because it's cars, it would be all macho guy shit or something.
Yeah, and there is from the enemy sort of thing. And I always get annoyed at watching bullying in films because I'm such a pussy on that angle. Yeah. But then watching those guys get it each was fantastic, and it didn't feel like rushed or anything. It just felt like it happens midway in the film, and you're like, wow. I mean, and then when Arnie is possessed and he looks like a fucking ghoul at the end was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. It is sort of a weird way to end the film, sort of, because you just see the car getting destroyed. There's no real there's not really a chase that can happen with a car. Do you know what I mean? You're sort of limited.
In a superior vehicle.
Nowadays, with CG, they would make the car turn on a dime, almost if it had levitating wheels. Do you know what I mean? It would be able to, if it had a spinning, fucking wheel underneath it, that can spin in a 360.
Well, what would have been cool, one cool thing they could have done, it would be if somebody's up on a higher ground, have the car at a head start and go up the back of one of those trucks that has the ramps on it, Uh-huh. And
or be like Knight Rider, where it has the propulsion on the bottom of it, and it just hits you right out of the fucking way. I really enjoyed the movie. It's so funny how they kills that last bully and he's on fire, and you just hear him get slumped over and hit. It's an enjoyable movie. It's a nice revenge horror movie. It made me remind me of this movie called The Wraith with Charlie Sheen, which is surprisingly a very good film. It's essentially The Crow, but wearing That
but
is
with more
such a.
drugs.
We got to do the Wraith. Like Wraith is not necessarily a horror film, but it's
Charlie
like a weird.
Sheen is like too silly. I don't.
The what? Charlie Sheen?
Yeah, he's so silly.
No, he played it straight in that movie. He actually was really good. I know you because of nowadays he's silly, but this was like in the 80s.
I don't like. Cool I'm not like a Charlie Sheen hater. It's just like he really is like. I don't know. He gives me.
No,
like,
I understand. He bothers you.
Yeah.
I mean, did you like The Crow?
I never seen it.
What? You've never seen The Crow?
My friend Rachel is obsessed.
Holy shit! The Crow is one of the greatest movies of all time for genre films.
Yeah, I know. Really... I never saw it.
Wow. Okay, that's a movie you got to see for sure. Anyway, this is a fantastic movie. I'm still like gobshocked. Go see The Wraith. If you like The Crow, you like The Wraith. But apparently, Danny doesn't know either, so it doesn't matter. This film. I mean, there's nothing else really can talk about it. Like the whole thing, just like is a nice, neatly wrapped,
fucking
little
awesome
French
special effects too.
I would, I'd give this an 8 out of 10. Walking past by the blonde chick to ask the new girl out on a date, getting turned down, and then not even getting sloppy seconds from the guy's big throbbing cock that you want.
Okay, I'm gonna get.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give this. A 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's really good. I see no problems with this movie. 10 out of 10.
Wow, good.
I really like it. It's like a very, very, very good movie, or maybe like a 9 out of 10. But it's good.
So what? So speaking of like John Carpenter stuff, I gotta have you talk. Rating. John Carpenter stuff. How would you rate this against his other films? Because this is certainly a different type of film than his other.
Okay, I guess when you get into it like that, then maybe it wouldn't be a 10 out of 10. Because I like The Thing way better, but that's because The Thing is more my taste. But this kind of movie isn't exactly my type of thing, but it's a really, really good movie. So, okay, maybe I'm being a little too generous. Let's say a 9 out of 10. But 9 out of 10...
Oh, Jesus, I didn't mean to do that. Go ahead.
9 out of 10, seeing your... wait, hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. 9 out of 10, oh, I can't think of any. You stole mine.
Good Lord, Danny.
Okay, 9 out of 10, knowingly selling a car that you know is possessed and killed your brother and several other people to a little kid, and then telling his friend that he doesn't know shit.
Fantastic. And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Rin Tin Tin.
The horror deconstruction.